Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover. A man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet in Miami, Florida, but today's a little different, as sometimes, as we're about to witness, Haulover goes for the knockout blow in one shot, as we're about to see this crew experience right here. This crew is coming into Haulover Inlet, and all of a sudden, their motor lost power. Here's the real problem. They're now being sucked back out of Haulover, stern first, with the waves stacking on the stern, meaning they are absolutely taking water over the stern of the vessel. As you can see here, it's already gotten extremely unstable, and we'll even see the gas can roll off the back of the boat. Fortunately, this crew quickly realizes they're in trouble and goes for life jackets. Here's the problem. He's only got 2 on the boat with 3 people on the vessel. Now, don't get me wrong, he might have a throwable in there, which does, in theory, count as a life jacket, but if you're going offshore, make sure you have the correct number of life jackets for everybody on your vessel in case you wind up in trouble. Now, this crew's trying to flag down help. As soon as we realized they were in trouble, our camera guy picked up the phone, went ahead and called the local authorities to alert them there was a vessel that was definitely taking on water over at the mouth of the inlet. The Coast Guard and local law enforcement was called and quickly arrived out on the scene, as we can see here. But you can tell things are rough. They're trying to balance out weight because the vessel's taking on so much water that it becomes unstable with every single roll of the wave. Of course, this is just a little 13-foot boat. Now, it is a Boston whaler, so I know people are already in the comments like, yeah, it won't sink, bro. No, I realize that, but it'll definitely flip and capsize. Now, I'm saying it's a whaler. There are no identifying markings on the boat, but it definitely looks like a little super sport. But if I'm wrong, I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments below. So right here, the local authorities are gonna do them the solid and toss this kid a 3rd life jacket, kind of like he handed the life jacket to the other girl. I'm assuming the officer's probably already annoyed, like, what are you doing out here without 3 life jackets? Now, beach rescues also just arrived on the scene on a jet ski, and I'm assuming we're going to try and get these people off of the boat, as that's the safest thing now, is to get as much weight off the boat so it'll sit as high in the water as it possibly could, and hopefully there's a bilge pump on the boat that's actually working and trying to get some of this water out, even though I don't see any indications of that at this time. But it's not going to hold a ton of water. It won't take much pumping to get this out. In fact, if somebody hooks it up for a tow, I bet most of the water will actually just drain out of the vessel itself, possibly. So they wind up going ahead and trying to move one of the girls, and she's going to go ahead and try and get on to the local police vessel here, and there she goes. She goes for the dive, winds up on the deck. Right here you can see it's more difficult than it looks if you've ever tried transferring vessels when there's rolling waves out there. But fortunately, she's now off the sinking boat and safe. And we do have another law enforcement vessel arriving as well. And beach rescue comes back around. I'm assuming they're going to try and get one more person off the boat. Cap's in the water. And I'm assuming we're going to try and get our next young lady, and we've even got the paddle boarders from the beach out here now as well. So pretty much the scene is under control. The boat doesn't appear to be taking on a whole lot more water, especially as they move the weight off of the vessel. Again, where the boat was most at risk was when it was actually drifting out of Haulover. At that point in time, the vessel was just being pulled out stern first, so the water was rushing against the stern, and it just happens to be the lowest point on the boat. One of the biggest things they could have done to prevent this was tried everything in their power to get this boat turned around. If they could have got the boat turned around and they would have went out bow first, things would have went a whole lot smoother for this crew, and in fact, probably they would have been okay. They would have just been floating out here outside of the inlet waiting for a tow, instead all of a sudden it turning into the emergency scene that we see here, where crews have to come out and actually rescue them before the boat winds up capsizing. So they're moving the second young lady over to the police vessel as well, and now we've got everybody off the boat, and it just comes down to what the situation is next on how we're going to get this vessel back into shore. And after several minutes of debate, the tow companies kind of got to shoot off, and it looks like another pleasure vessel's arrived out here, and they're loading the crew from the police boat over to the pleasure vessel, and this pleasure vessel, it appears, is going to go ahead and try and tow them in. This is why you get tow insurance, boys. It's cheap. Just get the tow insurance, and then you don't have to worry about your friends coming to rescue you, as the towboat would have come out and done this for you and done it professionally. But it does wind up working out okay in the end. Everybody winds up safe, but the reality is Haulover wound up taking him down, goes for the knockout blow, and gets the easy win in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.